Love yourself first. It has nothing to do with ego. In fact, love is such a light that the darkness of the ego cannot exist in it at all. If you love others, if your love is focused on others, you will live in darkness. Turn your light toward yourself first. Become a light unto yourself first. Let the light dispel your inner darkness, your inner weakness. Let love make you a tremendous power, a spiritual force. Without love, a person stands alone, separated from the core of existence. Without love, everyone is a lone entity, lacking any connection with others of their kind. Today, people find themselves totally alone. We are all shut off from each other, trapped within ourselves. This is like being in the grave. Even though they are alive, they are a corpse. Do you see the truth in what I am saying? Are you alive? Do you feel the flow of love in your veins? If you do not feel that flow, if the throbbing of love in your heart has ceased, then you should understand well that you are not really alive at all. The greatest poverty of all is the absence of love. The person who has not developed the capacity to love lives in a private hell of their own. A person who is filled with love is in heaven. You can look at an individual as a wonderful and unique plant, a plant that is capable of producing both nectar and poison. If a person lives by hate, they reap a harvest of poison. If they live by love, they gather blossoms laden with nectar. One of the most profound sutras of Gautama the Buddha is love yourself. Love is the nourishment for the soul. Just as food is to the body, so love is to the soul. Without food, the body is weak. Without love, the soul is weak. Once I was on a journey, and someone asked me which word in a person's vocabulary was the most valuable. My reply was, love. They were surprised. They said they had expected me to answer, soul or God. I laughed and said, love is God. Rising on the ray of love, one can enter the enlightened kingdom of God. It is better to say that love is God than to say that truth is God, because the harmony, the beauty, the vitality, and the bliss that are part of love are not part of truth. Truth is to be known. Love is to be felt as well as known. The growth and perfection of love leads to the ultimate merger with God, the ultimate merger with love. The healthy love of oneself is of great value. The person who does not love themselves will not be able to love anybody else, ever. The first ripple of love has to rise in your heart. If it has not risen for yourself, it cannot rise for anybody else, because everybody else is farther away from you. It is like throwing a stone into the silent lake. The first ripples will arise around the stone, and then they will go on spreading to the further shores. The first ripple of love has to be around yourself. One has to love one's body. One has to love one's soul. One has to love one's totality. And this is natural. Otherwise, you would not be able to survive at all. And it is beautiful because it beautifies you. The person who loves themselves becomes graceful, elegant. The person who loves themselves is bound to become more silent, more meditative, more prayerful than the person who does not love themselves. If you don't love your house, you will not clean it. If you don't love your house, you will not paint it. If you don't love your house, you will not surround it with a beautiful garden, with a lotus pond. If you love yourself, you will create a garden around yourself. You will try to grow your potential. You will try to bring out all that is in you to be expressed. And if you love yourself, you will be surprised. Others will love you. Nobody loves a person who does not love themselves. If you cannot even love yourself, who else is going to take the trouble? Yes, I would like you to love yourself, because unless you love yourself, you cannot love anybody else. You don't know what love is if you have not loved yourself. But before you can love yourself, you have to know yourself. Hence, love is secondary. Meditation is primary. And the miracle is, if you meditate and slowly get out of the ego and out of your personality and realize your real self, love will come on its own. You don't have to do anything. It is a spontaneous flowering, but it blossoms only in a certain climate. In that climate, I call meditation. In the climate of silence, no mind, no disturbance inside, absolute clarity, peace and silence. Suddenly, you will see thousands of flowers have opened within you, and their fragrance is love. Love is an ascension. It starts with one person. It ends with the totality. Love is the beginning. God is the end. To be afraid of love, to be afraid of the growing pains of love, is to remain enclosed in a dark cell. Modern man is living in a dark cell. It is narcissistic. Narcissism is the greatest obsession of the modern mind. And then there are problems which are meaningless. There are problems that are creative because they lead you to higher awareness. There are problems that lead you nowhere. They simply keep you tethered. They simply keep you in your old mess. Love creates problems. You can avoid those problems by avoiding love, but those are very essential problems. They have to be faced, encountered. They have to be lived and gone through and gone beyond. And to go beyond, the way is through. Love is the only real thing worth doing. All else is secondary. If it helps love, it is good. All else is just a means. Love is the end. So whatsoever the pain, go into love. Many times I say, learn the art of love. But what I really mean is, learn the art of removing all that hinders love. It is a negative process. It is like digging a well. You go on removing many layers of earth, stones, rocks, and then suddenly there is water. The water was always there. It was an undercurrent. Now you have removed all the barriers. The water is available. So is love. Love is the undercurrent of your being. It is already flowing, but there are many rocks, many layers of earth to be removed. Love first has to happen in the deepest core of your being. It is the quality of being alone, happily alone, joyously alone. It is the quality of being of no mind, of being silent. Contentless consciousness is the space, the context in which love arises in you. Love needs immense consciousness. Lust is animal. Love is divine. But unless you know that you are a soul, you cannot understand what love is. I cannot tell you what love is, but I can tell you how to find your soul. That's my whole work, to help you meditate, to help you become more aware, alert, so that slowly you start seeing that you are not just the body, that you are not just even the mind, that there is something else hidden behind it all, which is your real life. And once you become aware of your real life, your being, you will know that the joy of being is so overflowing that one wants to share it with someone who is receptive, someone who is available, with someone who is ready to open their heart. Discover your consciousness, and you will find what love is. It is an experience, and there is no way to say anything about it more than that which I have said. You have to move away from the body and the mind and the heart and reach to the very center of your being. Once you have reached to the center of your being, you will find love radiating from you. It is not something to be done by you. It will be just as if the sun has risen and the flowers have opened and the air has become filled with their fragrance. Love is a byproduct of meditation. Only meditators know what love is. People say love is blind because they do not know what love is. I say unto you, only love has eyes. Other than love, everything is blind. Don't try to understand life. Live it. Don't try to understand love. Move into love. Then you will know, and that knowing will come out of your experiencing. Don't try to become. Be.